This is Bedtime Stories, Grownup Edition, Feast or Famine, Part 5. When we left off, LJ and Q found out that the case against Angela is falling apart, but the scheme to take Amoura's life was way more sinister than they thought. Pastor Corey proposed to Stephanie, and she accepted after letting him know that she will not be a church hat wearing first lady. The following day, Angela hosted family photos and an engagement lunch at the estate. Later on that night, Regina questioned Angela about what exactly is going on with her and Q. Angela says, "Well, Gigi, we're together and I'm happy, but things are kind of slow going because so much has been happening. I've been busy with the business and Q's been trying to get back on his feet as far as his business and his work with Tico, the house, everything with Michael, losing his mother. But right now, we're really doing more talking than anything else. We haven't even been on a date." Regina said, "Y'all haven't been on a date? But I thought he was the one who told Pastor Corey about the mentioned restaurant. You mean to tell me he took somebody else to that restaurant?" Angela said, "See, this is exactly why Q said that we shouldn't talk with you and LJ about our relationship." Regina said, "What you mean?" Angela said, "You're too invested in how this works out. Yes, you're my best friend, but you never interfered in my relationship with Marcus." Regina said, "That's because you weren't willing to listen to anything anybody had to say. This is different." Angela said, "Right, but I'm not willing to listen to your opinions about my relationship with Q either, darling. Obviously, if something is going down that you know that I need to know and he's not telling me, then yes, as my best friend, I definitely expect for you to let me know, or at least put him in a position where he has no other choice but to tell me. But I don't need your opinion about all of the nuances of our relationship." Regina said, "But I don't..." Angela said, "Cut it out, best friend. LJ wants another baby. I haven't said a word to you about why you're not giving him one, and you haven't even made mention about it to me." Regina said, see, there you go. You doing too much. Nope. That topic is completely off limits." "Okay, I got you. I understand. I'm gonna mind my business. But if at any point you need a listening ear, I'm here. Because you know we down like 4 flats." Regina said, "Oh, girl, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be right back." Then she got up from the table and rushed inside the house. When Regina got inside, she walked past the open door of one of the studies, and inside, Q and Stephanie were having a hushed conversation. So she stopped and listened. She heard Q say, "Well, I'm glad we were able to have this conversation, Stephanie." Stephanie said, no problem. And I'm glad we were able to work through our differences." Q said, "Me too. So, did you bring it?" Stephanie said, "I did." Then she reached in her pocket, handed Q something that Regina couldn't see, and he said, "I really, really appreciate this, Stephanie. I know it took a lot for you to do this." Stephanie said, "It did. So you know what this means, right?" Q said, "Yeah, I know." Stephanie said, "I'm serious. Please don't make me hurt you." Q said, "I don't want no problem. You redefined a pit bull in a skirt." And Q and Stephanie both laughed. Then Q said, "I still need Jeffrey's number though." Stephanie said, "Listen, I'll give it to you, but are you sure that you want to do this? And if so, are you sure this is how you want to do this?" Q said, "I've tried talking to her about it and she won't listen. So this is the only way that I can do it. And yes, it has to be done, Steph." Gina wasn't quite sure she liked the sound of that, but she had to go to the bathroom. So she went ahead and skedaddled. That night, after all the festivities were over and Regina and LJ were back in the mother-in-law suite and they put their children to bed, Regina told LJ what she overheard in the study. LJ said, "Babe, everything is not an issue that you need to address. You're going to have to learn how to mind your business. Let Angela and Q work through whatever this is. They're going to have mountains and hills that they're going to have to climb, and they don't need our 2 cents unless they ask for it." Regina said, "I understand that, but I don't like sneaky stuff. You know how I feel about that. I don't know what Steph and Q got going on." LJ said, "Babe, Steph just got engaged. You know Steph would not get involved in anything that would get her sister hurt, break her heart. So cut it out." Regina said, okay, you right. Just, my emotions just been all over the place. LJ said, have you taken a test? Meanwhile, Angela and Q have put the children to bed and they're sitting out on one of the porches. To avoid temptation, they have taken to having their alone time outside on the porch. And then after they're done, Q walks Angela inside as if they're going to separate households. Angela says to Q, so tell me, when did you go to the mansion restaurant? Q tells Angela about taking Veronica there and why he chose that restaurant to take her on a first date. And when he says, I promise, it's no big deal, Angela says in response, oh, it's a big deal, considering that you and I have never been on a date. I'm not comparing what we share to your brief situation with Veronica. I have no plans to compare our relationship to any other relationship that you have ever had or that I have ever had. But I need you to know that romance is important to me. Now, I don't necessarily need to be wined and dined, and I don't need elaborate gifts, but I need to feel valued and appreciated. And I need you to establish behaviors now that you intend to continue into the future. Because what you do to get me, you're going to have to do to keep me. Q said, I hear that. Believe me, we're going to have a date. And when we do, it will rival all other dates. Let's just get through these next couple of weeks. Let me get settled in the house with Michael. Let me make sure things are in place to keep you and our family safe. And then trust. I'll make it happen. And when I do, the mansion restaurant won't even be a comparison. Then he did his signature move. Angela leaned in and they kissed passionately. Then Q asked, now tell me something. Why did you tell those ladies that you and I won't be living together anytime soon? Angela said, because we have so much yet to work through. And you didn't even let me decorate the master bedroom and bathroom. Q said, I didn't have you decorate the master bedroom and bathroom because I won't be using it when I move in. I'm going to be sleeping in one of the spare rooms. Angela asked, why? Q said, because that room is reserved for when I bring my wife home. There was no way that I was going to allow Veronica to have a hand in decorating the room and area where I plan to spend my most intimate moments with the woman that God created for me. That's a sacred space, so no other woman or man should even be able to describe the places where I make love to my woman. He asked, do you trust me, Angela? Angela said, I do. He said, good. I promise to make it worth it. Understand that what you have, what you inherited, is yours and your children's. But what I have is ours. I'm trying to build a future with you. I gave you a key and put you on a deed so you know it's real. All you have to worry about is how you and these kids are going to downsize from all of this. And he pointed around at the estate. Angela said, you have to remember, 3 years ago, I had no idea any of this even belonged to me. So we're comfortable, but we're not committed. Q said, good. As much as I love living here with you and the kids, and I would love to wait until we can all move in, I gotta get out of here. Angela said, why? Q said, because the temptation is getting to be too much, love. Q stood Angela up and wrapped his arms around her and pulled her close and kissed her passionately. And when they pulled away and both took a deep breath, he said, you have no idea how hard it is to walk you in this house every night like we're going to separate places and let you walk up those stairs. It takes all my strength to force myself to go downstairs to that basement. And some nights I have to come sit out on this porch and pray. Then he walked Angela into the house and she turned to him and said, keep praying, because there is nothing more attractive than a man who could lead his body and not let his body lead him. Then Angela walked up the stairs and Q watched her walk up the stairs and said, Lord, whatever you're doing in this season, please don't do it without me. Meanwhile, at Tracy and Deuce's house, the couple is engaged in a heated discussion. Tracy said, let me tell you something. I'm not doing this with you. I saw how y'all was looking at each other, And I don't know if anybody else peeped it. I don't even care if anybody else peeped it. You told me you was done with her, and I believed you. I forgave you. We worked through it. But I'm not putting up with any more infidelity from you, Deuce. And I'm telling you now, if you want to keep me and our son, then you need to let me know that you are done for real. Deuce said, I don't know how many times I got to tell you that you overreacting. There's absolutely nothing going on with me and Jada. That's old news. It's water under the bridge. Don't keep bringing it up. Don't keep throwing it in my face. And don't ever threaten to leave me. Do you understand? Tracy said, I love you. And as much as I love you, and as much as I want to be here, I am not putting up with it. I'm telling you now. Deuce grabs Tracy by her throat, pushes her up against the wall, and tells her through gritted teeth, don't play with me. Don't threaten me. If you even think about leaving me and taking my son, I'll turn you and Veronica in. Tracy said, barely able to keep her breath. You keep saying that, but you know that me and Veronica didn't have anything to do with Travis's scheme. Let go of me. Deuce let her go and said, it doesn't matter if you had anything to do with it or not. All that matters is what I can make it look like.